Hi, it's Tanya and Amelia from Coffee Catchup's podcast, and this is Coffee Catchup's Espresso on Cross Rhythms Radio, Plymouth. Amelia, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you, Tanya. How are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying the classic Plymouth weather that we've got today.
Yes, indeed.
Which I would describe as grey.
Yes, I would agree with that statement. Grey is the descriptor for that one, isn't it?
But I'm also really enjoying that the days are getting lighter.
Yes.
Evenings are getting longer. And the flowers are out. Spring is here. Yes.
So nice. Do you know what? I think one of my favourite flowers is a daffodil because it just, so my favourite season is summer, but it's kind of on the run up into spring, summer. Like, it just reminds me that lighter, like you say, lighter days, longer evenings, all of those lovely things that we enjoy are on the way. And they're also just very pretty. They're just yellow and happy and
I agree.
gorgeous.
I agree. Have you ever had that moment where the daffodils spring up and they're like, yeah, it's getting warmer, we're here. And then like a random cold spell happens and they all go, oh no.
Oh yeah.
It's
so
always get
depressing,
really
isn't it?
sad.
Just like,
Yeah.
oh no.
But my favourite kind of spring thing, not a flower, but is actually, when the trees have a particular kind of lime green leaf, which is like the early leaf.
Yes.
And I think that colour is gorgeous and it just fills me with I love spring. Spring is my favourite season. Just because it's like, summer's on the way. It's kind of full of new life and excitement. So yeah, I'd say as much as I love summer, I'm like, spring is my one. That's my time.
Fair one. I hear that.
And do let us know what your favourite season is as well. But yeah, it's also Lent. We're in Lent at the moment.
We are indeed. Yes, we are.
So yeah, Lent, often you give up something for Lent. Have you done that this year?
So, well, yeah, I've given up social media.
Ooh, okay.
So I run the social media for our podcast and I also do it for work. So I can't really give those things up. But I have given up my personal accounts.
Okay.
So
you've done this before, haven't you?
I have indeed. Yeah. I don't know why I keep saying indeed. It's just it's
She's becoming very civilized and Jane Austen like.
I know. Just start elevating my posh
vocabulary.
Voice. I am a Jana, I promise. It will come out at some point. It will just the accent will just appear. Yeah, I have done it before and I found it so helpful. I think I mentioned in the episode that we did previously about social media that I'd given it up for Lent and I found I got so much more done.
Yeah.
Like I stopped scrolling, obviously, and replace that time, which was quite a big chunk of time, with just like all the other things I had to do. I was like, I was so productive because I remember I think the first year I did it, which was a couple of years ago, I had a couple of online courses that I was doing just out of interest, like historical stuff or whatever.
Classic.
And having been on those for quite a while, I managed to actually finish them in the time that I'd given up social media. And so, yeah, that was amazing. And then, there's just loads of other kind of projects and stuff. I was like,
so you really
I'm
gained a
actually
lot
getting
from it.
stuff done here. It was great.
You told me about something about scrolling and doom scrolling. I can't remember what you said. It was something about your, you felt the need to still do it.
Yeah, so do you know what? It's terrifying, really. So when I gave up social media the first year, and potentially also last year, actually, when I did it again, so I found myself scrolling on other apps, but my emails. There is nothing interesting in my personal emails at all. Because I rarely use it. And so, it's just going through all the random stuff that was coming in there.
Just so you could scroll?
Just for the sake of scroll. It's the action of, it's really weird.
Crazy.
Yeah, me too.
I'm the fact that you were so addicted. I mean, we say, oh, look, we're addicted to the scrolling. But actually that your thumb was so in need of that particular action. I find that absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Slightly concerning.
Really odd. And I found myself opening Lidl Plus as well. Way more than is actually normal.
When you're not in Lidl, why would you have cause to open Lidl Plus app when you're not in Lidl?
This is the question.
Giving up social media. Who knew that was the consequence?
I don't even know. I just was spending so much more time on Lidl Plus and I was like, what is there to see that I haven't already seen?
Other supermarkets are available.
Yes.
Right.
This is not an advert for Lidl. although, I rate it. But like, yeah, it's crazy to me.
Crazy.
It's
Right, we're
crazy
going to
to
talk
me.
more about Lent, giving things up and the worth of it and self-control and things like that. But should we listen to some music?
Let's do that.
Yeah,
let's go
have
for
a little
it.
listen. Okay, we're back and we're talking about Lent, and we've just been discussing Amelia giving up social media for Lent, and the things that you learned from that, the crazy
many
doom
things that I
scrolling
learned
things.
from that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really exciting. Now I, for Lent, have done a big one this year.
Okay.
One that I'm not entirely sure I'm going to manage for the duration, but I hope that I will.
Okay, hit me with it.
Oh, okay, brace yourselves. I've given up alcohol.
Have you now?
Which
Mate.
I was really nervous about doing it because once you start something, I really want to finish. I don't want to give up. I don't want it to be like a New Year's resolution thing where you start it and then you do it for a few days. But actually, I gave up alcohol for a contract that I did with a company where they actually said, look, when you're working with us, please don't drink.
Right, okay.
And on your days off, you could do what you like, of course, but said when you're with us on tour, just don't drink. And I was like, well, great, what an opportunity to take the whole of, I think it was September last year, as a dry September.
Sure.
That classic. See, dry September is the new dry January. So anyway, I thought actually alcohol is bad for me. And actually takes up a lot of my money as well. It's an opportunity to grow in not needing it and still going out, because my line of work, I'm an actor, as I think I talk about a lot, means that I end up going out after shows and things like that.
Sure.
But who says I can't do that just with a Diet Coke or a lovely orange and lemonade?
Oh, do you know what? I love an orange and lemonade.
Do you know what? I
think
knew
it's
you
a
would.
Very underrated. It's a very underrated drink. What do you mean?
I just look at you and I think, here's a girl that appreciates orange and lemonade. No, nothing more was meant from it. Apologies.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. I didn't think it was an insult. I was just intrigued as to what makes you think that I'm an orange and lemonade gal.
Yeah.
Which I am, so you're not wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I
do you
just
know
know
what
you well.
Yeah, true. Do you know what I also enjoy? Is ginger beer and lime cordial. Very nice.
I feel like we've gone on to talking about our default subject, food and drink.
I know. I'm just, I'm just giving you ideas. If you're giving up alcohol, if you enjoy ginger beer, it's very nice.
Yeah,
with lime
I'm
cordial.
actually not a ginger beer fan. But anyway, we digress. We were supposed to be talking about Lent, and now we're talking about food and drink.
Got a bit off piece, but that's fine. That's us. If you tuned in, you know what you signed up for, really.
Yeah, the last few years I haven't really done much for Lent. It's just sort of, I think it's more that it snuck up on me,
Sure.
and I've gone, oh, it's Lent. And I've just not thought about it.
Yeah.
But this year I tried to really think about it and go, actually, what would benefit me? And unfortunately, I can't give up social media because I do think that's a really great one. Because of my work, I have to be on it.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I'd be interested to know if the thumb scrolling thing is a thing for me too. I'm sure it is. So yeah, and I think what has been great when I've given stuff up in the past is just the kind of refocusing. And as a Christian, it's nice to think when you have that thought, I could really do with a drink, going instead, I'm going to now replace that pathway there with I'm going to go and talk to God and pray.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
what I'm going to try and do. It's like, I really fancy a prosecco, and actually I'm actually just going to go and hang out with God, as that's kind of what I'm trying to do with the time.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really, really good thing, actually. And obviously that is, I think, historically kind of the point of Lent, isn't it, really? It's like you give stuff up so that you can then spend more time praying. I'm really bad at that. Like, genuinely, I'm terrible at that. I'm like, great, I've got more time to, like I say, I just get stuff done. And it doesn't mean I don't necessarily pray, but it's just that it's not the kind of like the formula in my head is not, I want to scroll on social media, therefore I will go and pray. It's I'm going to go do something else.
Well, I'm not saying I'm good at it. I'm saying I'm trying to do it.
Oh yeah, no, I need to try and do it. But I guess the question is really like, what do we gain from all of
what do we
this?
gain from Lent and why do we do it? Well, that's a big question.
It's a big question.
Let's unpack that, but I fancy a tune.
Let's go for it. Let's have some music.
Let's do it. Welcome back. We are talking about Lent and the things that we've given up this year for Lent. And Amelia posed a question before we listen to the music, posing a question about why do we do it? What do we gain from it? So I'm going to throw that right back at you. Classic me. I'm not going to answer that.
Unbelievable.
Why do you give something up for Lent, and do you gain anything from that?
Yeah, I think the classic kind of answer really is like self-control, isn't it really? And it's sort of that exercise of self-control. Can I do it? Like, how can I grow in my self-control through this exercise of giving something up? But actually, I mean, you know, again, historically, the reason that we have Lent is because of Jesus, right? So it says in the Gospels that Jesus... he's baptised by John the Baptist, and then he goes into the desert for, I think it's 40 days and 40 nights, and he doesn't eat in that time, which is like, wow.
Yeah.
That sounds incredibly difficult. And in the hot desert of Israel, Palestine, like,
Ouch.
man, that's crazy. So, yeah, and it's kind of, historically, it's sort of what we do to kind of reflect that time of, essentially, you know, he sacrificed food for that long. And so it's kind of a reflection of doing that. And I guess, you know, in all of that, the aim is to become more, again, just, like more disciplined, I think, more Jesus-like, if you're a Christian. But yeah, I think self-control is a really big part of that. And it's something that I think a lot of us struggle with, because we don't often have to be self-controlled. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think there's something in modern society that is really sort of the opposite of it in some ways, of do what you want and you put you first, and actually discipline and self-control is a really good characteristic to have. And often I don't think we necessarily talk about self-control like that. We see of it as going, I've got to deny myself. And actually practicing self-control means often you appreciate the things more anyway. Like,
so true.
Think about when you give something up, when you come back to it, you have such an appreciation for it. I don't know if this is a small example, but I don't know if you've ever had like a week or a couple of weeks where for some other reason, maybe there's been a lot of birthdays or events that have come together and you've eaten out a lot.
Yeah.
I start to lose the appreciation for eating out. Whereas if I have like a long break from it, when I do, I'm like, this is more rich for me, like in terms of enjoyment.
Yeah.
And I find that really lovely. And there's something in the giving up of luxuries and pleasures that can make us more appreciative of what we have. And also, you know, be a bit more humble and go, actually, this is time where I get to appreciate the blessings that are all around by that element of self-control, as well as practicing and making myself able to go, actually, no, I'm not going to have that just because I want it, which is difficult. It's a difficult skill, and I've definitely struggled.
Gosh, yeah, me too. And I think you really hit the nail on the head there. Like, there is so much that we don't have to be self-controlled with.
Yeah, no, a good point. And I think for myself this year and other years, so I have actually fasted one year.
Have you?
Obviously not for the full time of Lent, because that would have been crazy. I was actually at drama school at the time. I was studying, and the church I was with at the time were doing a fasting week near sometime in Lent, and lots of prayer and stuff like that. And so I think I did a week. It was quite long, and I remember feeling like really unwell during like one of the acrobatics classes we had to go to, and then I made the decision, actually, no, I'm gonna eat. But it was really great. Like, it really focused me on God, actually, because it was combined with prayer. And for me, that was really helpful. But in general, isn't it a great thing to flex that muscle of actually I'm gonna practice my self-control. I can choose, and often one of the things I did used to do as well, not just the denial aspect, but self-control within taking up something new.
Yes. Yeah.
So there was one Lent where I was like, every other day I'm going to go for a run because I love running and it's good for me mentally and physically.
Yeah.
And I remember going, I'm not going to do it every day because that's too much, but I'm going to do it every other day. And it was just taking it up and going, that's what I'm going to do for Lent, which is a different form of self-control. There's like the denial, and there's also, actually, I'm going to go and do something. So that's an idea for you guys. Even if we're, you're thinking, I've missed the deadline of Pancake Day, I can't, it's gone. Take up something new now. You don't have to you can do Lent any time, as it were, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, if you want to let us know what you've given up or taken up for Lent, or if you're doing anything, or if you have any particular thoughts on Lent, give us an email, coffeecatchupspodcast@gmail.com.
Nice. This is why she's the social skill.
What can I say?
Great.
What can I say? But yeah, I think it's a really, really interesting one. And again, kind of growing in that, essentially is discipline, isn't it, either way? And becoming more of a disciplined person. I'm really bad at this. I won't lie. Yeah. I'm really, really bad at it.
But you know what they say? Practice makes perfect. And how can you get
it does.
better at anything without practicing? And so genuinely, I'm really impressed that you give up social media.
Thanks.
Because I think I would find that challenging. So yeah, keep going. You're doing great.
Thanks, mate. You too.
Yeah,
you too.
Thank you. Oh, look at this encouragement.
Affirmation.
Right, we're going to be back in a little bit. We're going to listen to the music, and then we've got an exciting announcement about a rather silly section of Coffee Catchup Espresso. Stay tuned. Okay, it's Tanya and Amelia from Coffee Catchup Espresso, and we have a very exciting new section, which we're trialling. So some of the episodes won't necessarily have it on. No. I say episodes because I'm so used to recording a podcast.
I mean, some of
our shows. Anyway, let me know in the comments section.
Oh dear.
Okay, so this is breaking news. We're trialing a new section, and it's called, and I'm very proud of this, or slightly embarrassed as well. It's called Snack Chat. Yeah,
so good.
So it started basically because in our very first episode on Cross Rhythms Plymouth, we had a very long and passionate discussion about biscuits.
We did. One might call it Biscoff-gate because Tanya got very passionate about how Biscoffs, although a very nice biscuit, were overrated.
It's overrated. I mean, I stand by my argument. Completely stand by my argument.
That's great.
Before we go down this particular road again,
we're just going to veer away from that quickly.
Because as you can tell, I'm very impassioned. So we're going to be chatting about snacks, because who doesn't love a snack? So yes, welcome to Coffee Catchup Espresso Snack Chat.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So for our first snack chat, what are we talking about?
Well, given this is a Lent episode, we're going to be talking about what happens just before Lent. Pancake Day!
Pancake Day!
Big whoop for Pancake Day.
Pancake Day. I love so much that we, as a nation, have a day for pancakes.
Yeah. This is something to be patriotic about.
It's so great. It's so great. As British culture goes, this is the absolute pinnacle.
Is it? Should let the government know. Anyway,
it's just so British to have a day for pancakes, isn't it?
I mean, I love it. Love pancakes. Big pancake fan. Actually, one of the houses I used to live in, me and my housemates would do Pancake Sunday.
Love that.
So we would have pancakes, like, not necessarily every Sunday, but as quite often. And it was such a beautiful bonding thing.
Yeah,
and also pancakes. Nom nom. Great pancakes. Do you have a question about pancakes for me?
Well, my question to you is, what is your favourite pancake topping?
Topping? Oh, now, I'm a traditionalist, actually. Not in life, but in pancakes.
Yeah.
I am a big fan with a crepe, because that, in my opinion, is the superior pancake.
Obviously.
Fight us if you think we're wrong.
And if you think we're wrong, you are wrong. But
We just lost a load of listeners, I think.
Sorry
Anyway,
for this.
my favourite topping is actually classic lemon and sugar. I
So
just love
good.
it. It's simple. It's great. You can't go wrong. Big fan. And I do have a crepe machine or maker.
Ooh,
Yeah, which I love.
Hello. That sounds
hello.
great.
Yeah. I also love having crepes in France. There's just something amazing about having them in France. I love a savoury followed by a sweet. Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah,
But
beautiful
lemon
stuff.
and sugar is top notch. What about you?
Lemon and sugar is where it's at. I also love, on nearly the same level, is raspberries and Nutella.
Oh, not strawberries,
goodness.
but raspberries.
Well, like I do love strawberries, and I love strawberry and banana with Nutella as well. That is very, very nice.
a good choice.
But there is something about like chocolate and raspberries together that's just amazing, so good.
A good choice. A good choice.
Thank you. I'm glad you approve. But yeah, so I mean, there's so many great toppings, but those are kind of up there. I think chocolate and fruit and lemon and sugar.
I agree.
Unbelievable.
Slightly more kind of controversial, maybe question. How do you feel about banana pancakes?
Do you know what? I actually don't know that I've ever had a proper banana pancake.
What?
I know. I'm sorry. It's mostly because, firstly, when I've been round to somebody's house and they've been doing pancakes, it's never been banana pancakes. And secondly, it's, I don't often make them myself. If I am making pancakes, I will tend to just think, oh, I'm going to make a crepe. But then, and I don't
understand.
think, my train of thought doesn't naturally go banana pancakes because it's not a thing that I've grown up with.
Yeah, which I fully appreciate. We do need to change this though, because
We do.
I prefer a crepe. It is my preferred form of pancake, as we've already discussed. But the banana pancake, I really got into at one point. I think it was, do you remember in must have been around 2015-16 when like social media had loads of videos from Tasty.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I mean, this is such a throwback, but they were like showing you how to make a healthy pancake, which is just like egg and banana. So you don't even have any like flour or anything. Obviously, then the minute you put like lemon and sugar on it or chocolate or whatever, then it becomes unhealthy.
Indeed, yeah.
But the natural like flavouring and sweetness in the banana makes it quite a nice thing to just have by itself.
I can imagine it does, yeah. It's not something that I'm averse to. It sounds great. I'm very, very up for trying this.
Sounds like we need a coffee catchup and banana pancakes.
Agreed. Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Let us know your favourite pancake topping, savoury or sweet. And thanks for listening to Coffee Catchup Espresso.
Bye-bye.
Jinx.